Let's get into our Wooden Award watch. We're starting our player profiles this week, Brad. I'm not sure if you saw last week's episode, but we did a player draft, Max and I. So Max isn't with us tonight, so you're stepping in, taking his players. We're starting at the bottom of the barrel, but before we get into that, Brad, tell us about arguably the biggest snub that the Wooden Award people are sleeping on.
Well, obviously, y'all know who he's going to play for. It would have been the sixth man of the year until Milan Momcilovic went out and will be out indefinitely. That is Curtis Jones. So he's averaging 18 points a game right now,
Woo, woo.
and 38% from three, 4.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and I believe since he became a starter in the games he has been a starter, 23.8
Oh
points.
my.
So he is being slept on, I think, because Iowa State in general, even though a lot of people are picking them as like a one or two seed, still getting slept on, and no
Still.
one's getting any respect as far as Player of the Year awards and things like that. I think Curtis Jones does not get it. Where he came from at Buffalo to where he is at now, scoring wise,
Good
he
call.
keeps improving. And I think it's going to be hard for TJ to take him out of the starting lineup at this point in time, especially dropping 24 points a game in the starting lineup. Like, he just dropped what 33 the other night. Like, hmm.
I,
I think he should be getting more love because the guys on my list are all about the same size, and his numbers are better.
yeah.
Simple as that. And they're getting more love because they're on well-known programs. That's it.
Yeah, he's the second leading scorer in the Big 12 right now. Second leading scorer in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah. And he's
So,
only started 6 games.
and he's only started 6 games. No way you can take him out of the starting lineup when Momcilovic comes back. So, do you bring Momcilovic off the bench then if you're TJ?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you kind of have to
Yeah.
because Jefferson and Jackson make an insanely good
Beef.
1-2 punch down. Yeah, they're beef. We haven't, Iowa State is notorious for having really small, big guys like scrawny. And these two are beefy and
Mm.
good. Dude, Jefferson is an all-around player out
Oh,
of St.
yeah.
Mary's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I
Mm.
love watching him play. He can get 7 assists, 7 blocks, 7 steals in a game. None of it would surprise me. So, that's tough. I think it would be dependent on who they're playing. So if you're going like a small ball lineup, maybe I would be fine with Jefferson, bring Jackson off the bench if they don't have a big guy, and have Milan at the four because he is 6'8",
He is big,
you
yeah.
know. So it's tough, but at this point in time, I don't know. He played starters minutes even when he was off the bench, but I don't know. We were winning with him on the bench too, so I don't know the answer to that. I'm cool either way, but he just deserves some more respect.
Yeah, deserves more respect. Curtis Jones of the Cyclones. I'm also going to throw in Danny Wolf of Michigan. I like his game. Reminds me of Nikola Jokic out here in Denver. I know it's crazy to compare somebody to a three-time MVP, a world champion, but Danny Wolf, he's got that kind of versatility. So Michigan's having a solid season. They're going to keep improving. More chemistry there with Dusty May. But my first guy for the Wooden Award watch this season is going to be Texas A&M Aggie Wade Taylor the fourth. He's 6 foot. He's only 6 foot. I was kind of surprised by that. Only 6 foot, 180 pound senior from Dallas, Texas. This year he's averaging 14.5 points. That is his lowest since his freshman season and second on the team. He's not even leading the Aggies in scoring this season. 3.2 rebounds, 4.6 assists. That's pretty solid. That's a career high and fifth in the SEC, or those 4.6 assists. He is shooting 36.5% from the floor. That's his lowest since his freshman season. 32.3% from three, lowest since his freshman season. But a 90% from the free throw line. That's a career high. So he's getting it done from the career high, from the free throw line, but from the floor, not as efficient this season. We know Wade Taylor. We had him in this segment last season, so we've been talking about him for a while. I thought he was a fifth-year senior, but he's only been there 4 years. Microwave scorer, deep range, blazing speed. He's athletic, very consistent. Brad, very consistent scorer. Only 2 games this season where he failed to surpass 10 points. So he's going to give you double figures, even though he's only averaging 14.5.
I sorry, with those, and if you're only going to average 14 and a half points a game, you have to have some stat that's higher than five. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't think he should be even in the conversation. And like you said, these are all like career lows in most of his statistics
it
outside of
is.
free throws.
Since his freshman
So
season, yeah.
it's another thing. He's on the watch list and Curtis Jones isn't. Explain that to me.
It's a mistake. Curtis Jones definitely over Wade Taylor. Aggies, they're having a good season also. They're ranked 13th. They're ranked
Yeah.
13th. Buzz Williams, a lot
Mhm.
of buzz going around. Best game for Wade Taylor this year might have been against Abilene Christian last month. He had 15 points, 10 assists, 3 steals, solid double-double. But this,
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this one. He's Texas A&M's second all-time leading scorer. He's only 65 points shy of passing Bernard King. And like I said, he's not a COVID fifth year. This is his fourth
Yeah.
season. 65 points shy. He's going to be Texas A&M's all-time leading scorer. I got to respect that.
No, for sure. Consistency, I'll give you, but not no improvement over 4 years, really. You
Exactly.
know? And so it's like he's not getting better, like Curtis Jones.
Second on the team in scoring this season.
Hmm.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Brad, why don't you give us your first guy for the Wooden Award watch this season?
All right. And I will preface this with I definitely had to look into these guys. I wanted to watch more of their highlights because, sure, I've caught a few of their games and whatnot,
Mm,
but never really watched the individual player. So I'm going to start with Trey Johnson out of Texas. And so, size wise, pros, his range, unlimited. He
mm,
can hit from anywhere. Um, and his midi game is what I notice in a lot of highlights. A
mm.
lot of guys either they finish or they shoot deep threes and don't do both. He's got a midi game, pretty good at finishing, but I will say downfall is doesn't use his 6'6" frame with a plus 5 inch wingspan in order to finish at the rim. He's
Okay.
everything's a fadeaway.
Mm,
A
I don't
defense
like
is a
that.
little
I
questionable,
don't like that.
but I mean, I was impressed. I won't
Mm.
lie. What's he got? 19 points a game. But for a Texas team that's meh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So, like, anyone can score a bunch of points on a shit team. Not anyone,
Mm,
but, like, sure,
sure.
they're going up against good competition in the SEC. So 19 points a game is nothing to um, shit on by any means. But I think other stats, what, 2.6 rebounds at 6'6"?
Come on.
Not good enough.
Come on.
That shows he has the
Mhm.
potential to be amazing, but maybe with his assists being 2.2 rebounds, 2.6, and inability to take it to the rack hard, I
Yeah.
say shows lack of effort. He's going off of all of his natural skills. So I think potential is absolutely through the roof, but on a team that's that, eh, eh,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah. SEC's, I mean, this might be the
Mm-hmm.
best conference we've ever seen. And he's leading the SEC in scoring. He's leading the
Yeah.
SEC in scoring right now. You got to respect that for sure. Texas right now, Brad, 14-7, 3-5 in the SEC. Are they going dancing?
Probably. I
Probably.
mean, I think they're good enough
Yeah.
too. And the thing is, getting any road wins in the SEC this year is going to be difficult.
Oh yeah.
So you have anywhere near 500 in the SEC,
Hmm.
even 3, 4 games under 500. I think you're getting in.
I think Trey Johnson's going to be a lottery pick, if not a top
Yeah.
10 pick. One and done for
All
sure.
potential all day long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's exciting to watch for sure, Brad.
Yeah. Agreed.
My next guy, I'm going to Mississippi State. Talking about Josh Hubbard. 5'11", 190. 5'11", my ass. I'm gonna give it 5'8", maybe
Yeah.
5'7". Okay.
Probably. I've taken bigger shits than him.
He's a little guy. He's a little guy. Listed at 5'11", 190. He's a sophomore from Madison, Mississippi. Averaging 17.3 points per game this season. That's tied for eighth in the SEC. But Brad, like we talked about it, the ancillary stats. 2.2 rebounds, 3 assists, point 0.8 steals. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. But damn
Yeah.
it, he can fill it up. Josh Hubbard can fill it up. He's electrifying. 7 games over 20 points this season. Last night against Alabama, I turned that baby on. Career high 38 points. Career
Hmm.
high 38 points from Josh Hubbard last night against Alabama. 14 to 28 shooting, 50%. 4 of 4 from the line, 6 of 15 from deep. Super shifty and tough to stay in front of. Alabama put 6'11" Jaron Stevenson on this guy for a while. 6'11" Jaron Stevenson was guarding him for a while. 3 level scorer. I like my pro comparisons here. I feel like he's maybe a less distributing Jalen Brunson, more athletic, better scoring Kyle Lowry. Definitely built like Lowry, obviously short.
Yeah, definitely built like Lowry.
More skilled Nate
Yeah.
Robinson, maybe. But
Hmm.
Josh Hubbard, he was second team All SEC last season as a freshman, 17.1 points per game last year. Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, they're number 14, looking for their third straight tournament bid. What do you think about Josh Hubbard and Mississippi State this season?
Impressed, obviously. The 38 the other night. He had been struggling recently. I believe his 3-point percentage had been way down and just overall shooting percentage the last few games before he finally blew up again. I think he's someone that's in need of a true point guard because he's had to
Mm,
handle a lot of the duties and he's not a point guard. And so as an off-ball guard, fantastic, but he's playing outside position right now. If he had a true point guard, I think he would be putting up more points, honestly.
yeah, Josh Hubbard, he can fill it up. He was the last guy drafted in our draft, 25 player draft. Someone's got to be last. Josh Hubbard, over 17 a game, but those ancillary stats aren't really there. I'd have definitely put
Hmm.
Curtis Jones on here over Hubbard.
100%.
Give me our last guy this week for the Wooden Award watch there, Brad. And I believe, yeah, we're in the SEC, all four of them here. Staying in the SEC.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I had to watch this shit, and both of mine were ex Big 12.
That's
So
true.
screw you for that. Um, so
Thank-
Jeremiah Fears, again, haven't watched a ton of him individually. I've watched a few of Oklahoma's games,
Mhm.
and he's another one. He's doing more than Trey Johnson effort-wise, I would say. But
Okay.
at 6'4", 16 points a game, well, 15.9 points a game. Passing's great, versatility, but uh he like one thing I noticed when he was finishing at the basket is really difficult right hand layups
Mm,
from the left side.
okay.
So I think like I saw something saying that he had like a good left hand. I was like, I just watched all of his highlights and he shot moronic left-sided layups
Right-handed.
with the right hand. So
Interesting.
I think he needs to work on his left hand, maybe a bit selfish and only 27.1% from three-point range.
E. E.
Like, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. But ancillary like numbers, like you're looking 3.9 rebounds, solid for a 6'4" guard, and 4.3 assists, pretty solid as well. So I think effort is better than I would say Trey Johnson, but I think a lot of times people get enamored with these young guys from major schools and put them on the list, even though like again, I went
point.
over all Curtis Jones's shit to start with, and he's nowhere near it
Yeah.
like overall player wise, and they're roughly the same size.
Great point. Great point. Oklahoma, they're sitting half game behind Texas in the SEC standings, 15-5 overall, 2-5 in the SEC. We saw them be one of the last undefeated teams this year, the second or third last undefeated team, and then now they just kind of shit the bed a little bit in the SEC. Do you see them making the tournament?
I do.
Yeah.
Um, Again, it's one of those things is like win your home games. And you can drop maybe a couple at home to big schools.
Mhm.
And if you win the rest of your home games, steal a few on the road, beat the shit teams on the road, you can get in. And their talent is definitely there where they could go. Like I was impressed with Fierce, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just some of the things I think is like overhyped. Again, when I
Mm,
watched college basketball, I was like, why is he not on the list? And some other players aren't.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Always going to be that argument. Always.
Hmm. Yeah.